The dashboard clock glowed 1:17 a.m. as Eddie Russo cruised his beat-up yellow cab along the outskirts of Buffalo, New York. The dispatcher's voice had crackled through the static earlier, sending him to a pickup at 43 Maple Hollow Road, a nowhere address past the city limits, where the sodium streetlights faded into black fields and skeletal trees. "Just get there quick, Eddie," she said, her tone clipped, like she didn't want to linger on the call. He fiddled with the radio to stay awake, settling on WGR's late-night sports talk. The host was tearing into the Buffalo Sabres' latest loss to the Flyers, 3-2 in overtime, a real gut punch. "Gil Perreault has got to stop carrying the team on his back," the host grumbled, his voice cutting through the hum of the cab's engine. Eddie smirked, tapping the wheel. Earlier that night, he caught the game at Tony's Tavern, a dive bar off Elmwood, nursing a Molson between fares. The bar's TV had flickered with every Flyers goal. The crowd groaning as Perreault's late-tying shot wasn't enough. The Sabres was Eddie's team, win or lose, and that Molson had tasted bittersweet. The signal wavered as he turned onto a narrow, unmarked road, the city's glow shrinking in his rear view. The radio held, the host now debating whether Coach Floyd Smith was on the chopping block. Eddie's headlights swept over a weathered sign, Maple Hollow Road. He slowed, scanning for 43. The dispatcher hadn't given him a description. Just look for the guy. Typical. A figure emerged from the shadows ahead, hunched against the October chill. Eddie pulled over, tires crunching on gravel. The man shuffled closer, mid-40s, maybe, with a scruffy beard and a threadbare coat. His eyes were sunken, darting like he hadn't slept in days. He climbed into the back seat without a word, slamming the door hard enough to make Eddie flinch. "Where to?" Eddie asked, glancing in the mirror. "Down the road," the man rasped, voice rough as sandpaper. "Don't miss the turn." Eddie frowned. "Gotta give me more than that, pal. What's the address?" "Just drive. You'll see it." The man's fingers drummed nervously on a small duffel bag in his lap. Eddie shrugged and eased the cab forward. Weirdos weren't new. Late nights in the 70s brought out all kinds. The radio droned on. A caller shouted, "Floyd's gotta go, I'm telling ya." Eddie chuckled, but the man in the back didn't react. He just stared out the window, muttering under his breath. The road stretched on, straight and endless, flanked by gnarled trees and patches of fog. Eddie checked the odometer. 5 miles since the pickup. No turns, no houses, no nothing. "Hey, buddy," he called. "You sure this is the right way?" "Don't miss the turn," the man repeated, louder this time, his voice edged with panic. "I missed it. Don't you miss it." Eddie's grip tightened on the wheel. "What turn? There's nothing out here." The man leaned forward, his breath sour and hot on Eddie's neck. "It's coming. You'll see." The radio crackled, and the Sabres' talk cut out mid-sentence. Static roared, and then a faint voice, not the host, whispered through the speakers. "Maple Hollow. Maple Hollow." Eddie slapped a dial, but it wouldn't shut off. The static pulsed, syncing with the thud of his pulse. Ahead, a flicker of light. "Stop!" the man barked, slamming a fist on the seat. Eddie hit the brakes, tires squealing. The cab lurched, and the man pointed out the window. "There! The turn!" Eddie squinted. Nothing but trees and fog. "There's no turn, man. What the hell's wrong with you?" The man's eyes widened, wild and glassy. "You don't remember, do you?" He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a hiss. "Few years back. 74, I think. Rainy night, out here on Maple Hollow. You were drunk, Eddie. Too many whiskeys at that bar you like. The one with the jukebox that skips. You didn't see him till it was too late." Eddie's stomach churned. A memory clawed its way up. October, 74. A storm hammering the windshield. The bottle of Jim Beam he stashed under the seat. He'd been weaving, singing along a busted rendition of Sweet Home Alabama, when someone, stumbled onto the road. You hit him. The man went on, his grin twisting. Homeless guy. Nobody to miss him. Smacked him with the bumper. Sent him rolling into the ditch. There was blood all over the gravel, Eddie. You didn't even stop. Just floored it. Left him there. I saw it. Watched you peel out. Tail lights fading in the rain. Eddie's hands shook, the wheel slick with sweat. You're lying, he snapped, but his voice cracked. He could still hear the thud, feel the jolt through the steering column. He told himself it was a deer, a dog, anything but a person. No cops ever came. No one ever knew. Am I? The man's laugh was dry and hollow. Look at me, Eddie. Look real close. He tilted his head, the cab's dim light catching his face. Gaunt, familiar. The matted hair, the torn jacket, the scar above his left eye. The same man from that night, staring back at him, alive and not alive, his grin a death head's rictus. Eddie's breath caught. No, you're dead. I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to. Don't change it, the man snarled, eyes blazing. You left me there, bleeding out. Bones snapped like twigs. Took hours to die, Eddie. Hours. Now you're here, and you're gonna miss the turn, just like I did. Before Eddie could move, the man yanked the door open and bolted, the duffel thumping to the floor as he vanished into the trees. Wait! Eddie shouted, grabbing his flashlight. He stumbled out, boots sinking into mud, and chased the beam into the woods. Come back, you bastard! Branches clawed at his face. Fog swallowed sound. The light caught a shadow weaving through the trees, and Eddie pushed harder, lungs burning. I'm sorry, okay? I didn't mean it, his voice echoed, unanswered. The ground dipped, and he tripped, sprawling into wet leaves. The shadow was gone. He cursed, staggering up, turning in circles. No road, no cab, just endless forest. The air thick with rot. His flashlight flickered, the beam weak. Then, headlights. Through the trees, his cab's yellow glow. Relief hit, then confusion. He stumbled toward it, emerging from the woods on the other side of the road. The cab sat where he left it, but he hadn't crossed the pavement. The trees behind him loomed unchanged, as if he'd looped around without moving forward. Heart hammering, Eddie climbed back in, slamming the door. The duffel lay unzipped, empty except for a stale whiff of decay. The radio hissed back to life, the Sabres host mid-rant. And that's why we're stuck in this loop, folks. Loop. The word sank into Eddie's bones. He floored it, the cab rattling as the road unspooled ahead. The same trees, the same fog, the same damn sign. Maple Hollow Road. Flashing by again and again. His hands shook, sweat beading on his forehead. The clock read 1:17 a.m. Still. Always. At dawn, the cab rolled to a stop on a quiet Buffalo street, engine cold. A cop found it later, empty except for a Polaroid on the passenger seat. Eddie's cab, parked on Maple Hollow Road, time-stamped October 17th, 1979, a week from now. The dispatcher swore she'd never sent him out that night, and on WGR, the late-night host took a call from a guy who sounded just like Eddie, laughing about the Sabres before the line went dead.